What's up guys, my name is Peyton and today I'm going to be going over 6 things that helped me land an internship my freshman year. So these are just things that helped me my freshman year, but that doesn't mean that they won't help you out if you're a sophomore or junior. Now without further ado, let's get right into the video. So first I want to talk a little bit about internships and why they're so important and valuable. So an internship allows you to get a taste of a certain industry or a certain company that you may want to work for. And it also helps you prepare for when you get a full-time job. Because of this, it makes them super competitive and the demand is super high. So if you're trying to get an internship, and especially a paid one, just know that you'll probably run into a lot of competition. This leads me into my first point, which is don't be afraid of rejection. It's bound to happen. If you apply to 10 internships, you're probably not going to get hired at all 10. You have to be okay with the fact that not everyone's going to like you and not everyone's going to think that you're a good fit at their company. But that's okay, because you're not a good fit at everyone's company, and that's why you're getting internship experience to find out where you fit in and what industry that you want to work in. If you apply to an internship and you don't end up getting it, don't get discouraged. If you truly want it bad enough, I promise you that there's a place that will hire you. You just have to keep trying and stay consistent. My next piece of advice, and this is probably the most important piece of advice that I'll give you all video, and that is to set up informational interviews. So if you don't know what an informational interview is, it's where you contact someone who works at the company that you want to work for, and you reach out to them for 10 to 15 minutes of their time to where you can ask them about the company culture, how they like it, whether or not you'd fit in, etc. This is super important because it'll give you a gauge of whether you really want to work there or not. And if you do really want to work there, it'll keep your name at the top of their list. Odds are, if you set up multiple informational interviews with people at the company, your name will be going around the office a lot. And this will be good for you because if your name's going around a lot, then that means it'll get around to the hiring manager and they'll be curious as to who you are and if you'd be a good fit at their company. Informational interviews are so effective because not only does it give you insight to what the company is like, it also helps you during the hiring process. So please take advantage of these, and I promise that if you do enough of these, it'll pay off and you'll be able to get that internship. I would not have been able to get my internship if it wasn't for interviews like this, and I know tons of other people who have had good success in getting internships by doing informational interviews. Most hires for internships are not directly through hiring websites or a LinkedIn application or anything like that. They're through inside connections. And if you know someone inside the company, you have a leg up on every single person just randomly applying. Any company would rather hire someone that they have personally talked to or that they can have someone vouch for them rather than some random person that applied on the internet and they don't know anything about them besides what's on their resume. That leads me to my next point, which is have a good resume. If you don't have a ton of work experience, you want to make sure your resume is perfect in all other areas. Make sure it's not over a page long, make sure you use a good font, make sure you have your contact information there, because employers look for little things like that. A lot of the times I've heard if you have a bad resume, they just discard it right away and don't even read it. So make sure your resume is perfect in all aspects. My next piece of advice is to be passionate. If you're just trying to get an internship because your parents want you to, or that's something you learned in a class you're taking, then you're in it for the wrong reasons. You need to want to have an internship for your own benefit. It's really easy for an employer to tell if you're just simply not passionate at all. If you don't truly care about your internship or the experience that you gain from that, there's a million other people who will, so that puts you at an extreme disadvantage when applying for internship. If you show the employer that you're super interested and all you want is a chance to work in that field, then they'll be more likely to hire you than someone who doesn't really care about it. And like I said earlier, if you really want it, you shouldn't have any trouble landing an internship. My 5th piece of advice is to be consistent, and this one is super, super important. It's super important to be consistent so that the people that you want to work for don't forget about you. These people are super busy and they deal with a ton of things every day, so it is super likely that they will forget about you if you don't remind them that you exist. The more that you're constantly following up, asking questions, asking to get in touch, the more that it will remind them that you are a really good candidate for the job. The people who follow up the most are the people who win, because at the end of the day, they're at the top of the list, they're at freshest in the minds of the employers, and they're the one who wants it the most. Don't worry about being too annoying, because that's something that I thought before I got my internship is I didn't want to constantly be bugging these people or feel like I'm wasting their time at all. But I came to learn that there's no such thing as that. Being consistent shows dedication. And my last tip, which is also a super important tip, is to network as much as you can. It's a really good idea to have a strong LinkedIn profile. That way, employers will be able to see your profile, get a gist of who you are and what experiences you've had before. I personally got my internship by reaching out to my current boss on LinkedIn and scheduling an interview. It's really as easy as that sometimes. So try to make as many connections as you can on LinkedIn, and don't hesitate to ask anyone else you know, such as your teachers, if they know anyone else who's hiring. Try to meet as many people as you can, because you never know if they're going to be able to help you out in your professional life or not. Give everyone a chance and talk to as many people as you can, and this will increase your odds greatly in landing an internship. So that concludes the video, and those are the 6 most important things that I did that allowed me to land an internship my freshman year. So to recap, don't be afraid of rejection. Set up informational interviews, have a good resume, be passionate, be consistent, and make sure you network. If you do all these things, I can't guarantee you an internship, but I can guarantee you a leg up against everyone else, because truth is, not everyone does these things. So if you just follow these simple steps, you'll be putting yourself at a massive advantage. And remember, it's not about what you know, it's about who you know. So make sure you're meeting as many people as you possibly can if you're really interested in getting an internship in a specific field. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you have any questions, feel free to comment. Make sure you like the video, and I hope you guys have a great day. Peace.